Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for Sunday Mass. My name is Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Scott.
How's it going, bud?
I am absolutely tickled.
Why?
Because you know how long it's been since we had a new guest?
About a year, probably.
Yeah. Like it's been a while, and we finally got a new guest.
Yeah.
We found at least one other priest who will come talk to us on a microphone.
We had to go across diocesan borders to make it happen.
Yes.
But Father Coady Owens, how are you, Father?
I'm well, thank you. Second guessing my appearance after that introduction.
Father, did you bring your letter of good standing?
That was an awkward way to start the podcast.
That's all right. He's sitting down anyways.
I think I'm grandfathered in Hamilton County,
Good
right?
standing,
Just north of
yeah,
96th Street. Yeah.
No, Father, welcome. You are, I believe, associate pastor or parochial vicar or whatever term, right? At Our Lady of Grace. Is that correct? Or what's the terminology?
I'm in residence at Our Lady of Grace,
in residence, but
I
you're
am
chaplain.
full-time at Garen Catholic High School.
Wonderful. Chaplain at
Wow.
Garen Catholic High School, which is awesome.
It is.
Every high school every Catholic high school should have a full-time chaplain.
Yeah, it's a great luxury. It's
Yes.
awesome. Our bishop is great. Very
Yes.
grateful for that.
Yeah, no. So, and so how long have you been at Garen Catholic then?
I'm going into my third year.
Wonderful.
We start school August 14th, so
Great.
starting to get things ready.
Great. So you just had summer break.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I still have. I mean, like at least for a couple
Yeah.
days, right? I'm
Oh,
not trying to
you're
rush
just-
through that.
You haven't gotten the Sunday scaries. I guess that's a different term.
School
for the
year
priests,
scaries,
but
yeah,
Saturday afternoon scaries.
Teachers get those Sunday scaries all the time.
that's right.
Yeah. So you're chaplain there. Do you teach as well, or
I do, yeah.
Awesome.
So I teach in the afternoon. We have 5 class periods during the day, and I teach 4th and 5th period, senior theology, Christian vocation.
wonderful?
Yeah.
All right. I won't ask too many more questions about you.
Great.
Because I got a million for later. But
Great.
Yeah.
That just reminds me we haven't had Deacon Rick Wagner on in a while.
Mhm.
No.
But we used to have a couple of rotating deacons in the lineup.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He was such a joy.
Great.
What a
He's
great
wonderful.
homilist too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Truly.
very
Yeah.
good.
I read his homilies every week. He posts them on Facebook, and it's a really long Facebook post, but I still read it because they're really good.
Why
So,
not?
Yeah, and if you've known Deacon Rick long enough, you just hear it in his voice anyway. So, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, ready for the 2-minute drill?
yes, we'll see if it's 2. But
Great.
18th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Our first reading comes from Ecclesiastes.
Mhm.
Health.
Please, I was getting ready to say, please
Ooh,
please try to pronounce that first.
Ooh Health is the name of the person. They're I think I don't no, you got to hold that corrections at the end, Father.
Yeah.
So
There's no U. It's QOHELETH.
Koheleth. Anyway, is reeling. It's just vanity of vanities. Just like, it sounds like my teenage girls, the drama, right? Like he's very worried, frustrated that someone can do or can labor with wisdom and skill and leave everything behind to someone who didn't earn it, right? Like I can work so hard, and then when I'm gone, I leave everything to somebody who did nothing and gets all of this reward. And it's just a nice raw reflection on how exhausting life can be when it feels like it's all toil and no purpose. Like there's nothing that we're driving towards. Our responsorial psalm, it has been a minute, Scott,
Ooh.
but Father, we have categories for our responsorial psalms.
I'm interested.
There's 3 categories. They are mumblers. So one that's like long and not well known. And so like even like the third time through, half the church is still just like either mumbling or having to stare
Mhm,
at their
mhm.
book, right? There's meh, which is like a good solid message, but like, and then we have bangers. And this week we have an absolute banger of a
Banger
responsorial
alert.
psalm, which is one where you can just close your eyes and imagine like your favorite cantor just like going to town on. So if today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts.
Mhm.
I'm very excited. Guitar masses all over the country are going to be live this week, really getting after it. I'm imagining a cantor at our own parish who cantors as part of our contemporary choir, they'll call it, right? But he always unbuttons his polo shirt, little extra chest hair out when he's leading the psalm.
This song
Yeah,
comes
it's
up.
weird, but anyway. That's what the visual I have. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, welcome, Father.
Thank you.
Our
So
second
happy to be
reading
here.
comes. That was an overshare, everyone. Our second reading comes from Colossians chapter 3. Paul is urging the Colossians to aim higher, literally, right? He's saying, seek what's above. He says, because we've been raised with Christ, we should seek what is above. And that means ditching old patterns, getting rid of things like greed and lies and anger. And because we have this renewed life now, we have these renewed opportunities. There's no room for division or labels. Christ is everything. He's all in. Paul is all in. We know Paul is all in. We hear that in his letters all the time, but it's an exciting time. And then our gospel reading, our gospel comes from Luke chapter 12, 13 to 21. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbiter?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. Then there I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for all who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God."
Amazing. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Father, do you go by Father Coady or Father Owens? What's your preference?
Dealer's choice. As long as there's a father in front of it,
Amazing.
Great.
go for it.
Or just Father.
Yeah, either way.
Father Coady, then. I'm going to feel like we've got to know each other over the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff passed that
Did
line.
Jeff get anything wrong?
No, I mean, he got there eventually. I was
Well,
really
if
laughing
ever
at
describe Jeff.
we would call the author, or at least the narrator of Ecclesiastes, Koheleth.
Cool.
And you got there. Yeah.
Did I?
Great job.
Sure.
Kind of like you were sounding it
Koheleth.
out phonetically, like a
Yes.
5-year-old, kind of like trying to.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking. I mean, that's this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us like we're 5.
That's great. No.
That must have been an entire day of seminary.
It was an
Learning how to
entire paper
pronounce
of
Koheleth
seminary.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott is a believer that the entirety of seminary is just broken down in like designated days.
How do you
Like
pronounce
liturgical
this? Yeah.
colors day?
Mm-hmm.
Pronouncing Koheleth day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Where do I put my hands today?
not entirely inaccurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do I put my hands? Oh. All right, but no heresies.
No heresies.
Great.
None
What
found.
are you thinking about preaching on this weekend? Do you do like sacramental assistance at a parish on the weekends?
I do.
Okay.
I
I
earn
was
my
gonna say, do
bedroom.
you get Sundays off? This is awesome.
Saturday's usually my day off because Monday through
Yeah.
Friday I'm at the school, I'm doing all this stuff. But Sundays I will typically say one mass at Our Lady of Grace, and then I'm also, because I have a little bit more availability than your ordinary priest
Yeah.
at a parish, I kind of fill in
Are
here.
you
and
calling
there.
yourself extraordinary?
No, I think subordinary is what
got
I would go for. But yeah, I will be at St. Louis de Montfort in Fishers this weekend,
Okay.
for example,
Yeah.
filling in. So yeah.
Helping cover like vacations.
Yeah,
or
a guy
just
needs to
when,
go on
like, yeah.
vacation, or something comes up, then I'm a little bit more of like a free agent.
Do you throw in a
in
second
the
collection
diocese.
for Garen Catholic every time you go do one of like a
Got to talk to Deacon
like a
Rick about
mission?
that
Yeah.
first.
He'd probably be on board.
Yeah, have to ask him. Yeah.
Like you're a mission priest.
Very similar. Very similar. It's a desperate mission. High
Yes.
school. As far as what I'm looking at, I saw Ecclesiastes and Koheleth, and that's everything for me.
Really? Vanity
Yeah.
of Vanities?
Go
That's
on.
maybe my favorite book in the entire Bible.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
You
Tell me more.
When you were like beginning it, you said, it's like my high school daughters, everything is drama. And I think if you are living in the world right now and you do not think everything is drama, you are not paying attention.
Okay.
I
Okay.
genuinely, I think Koheleth is the most realistic of all the books in the Bible, Ecclesiastes and Koheleth as an author. Vanity of Vanities, I always, in different contexts, try to parse that out to show the root there is vanity, not as like pride or like a vanity mirror, but it's nothing. It's almost nihilistic. It's It's saying, yeah, actually, everything, when you really measure it and weigh it and shake it out, it's nothing. It comes down to nothing.
I know what it means, but can you explain to Scott what nihilistic means?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah,
because I obviously know, but Scott, I think
I was
Scott's
gathering
curious
that in your
about it.
face.
Right.
Yeah.
It's there's no meaning to life. That life is an empty void, and at the end of the day, your life is desperate and sad because it amounts to nothing.
How's that connected to vanity, though? Like, what's the?
So the idea in vanity is like it's like doing something in vain. For example, you wouldn't say I did something in vain, and that means that I did it for myself. It would mean like it amounted to nothing. I did this, and it came to nothing.
Right.
So here, in the same way, vanity, then vanity of vanities, all is vanity. You could translate that separately as like nothing of nothingness. All is nothing, which is the way that Koheleth begins an optimistic introduction to his observations.
Oh, that is like the beginning of the book. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. And then he carries on for like 3 or 4 chapters, just kind of giving you lists in sequence, trying to say, well, what about like raising food? Isn't that really like fun to see things grow? And he says, no, because all of it dies. And he says, what about like having a family and falling in love? And he's like, yeah, except sometimes you don't fall in love and your heart breaks and everything is terrible. He gives you like a plus and a minus in every single category, just to say that everything is passing away. And so if we're confined to this life as it seems we are, then I don't know why you're smiling. Everything is actually very terrible.
I am finding myself like desperate to understand why you love this book so much, because all you're being like, you're like, our lives are an empty void and nothing means anything, and that's my favorite book. Well, welcome to my homily this week.
You wanted my personality here in this podcast. Voila. And that's how it ends in this passage. All his days are sorrow and grief is his occupation. Even at night, his mind is not at rest. I think the reason that I like this so much, I mentioned very briefly.
You're selling it, man.
Hey, I'm here for that.
We can tell you
sales was a background, Nice. It was a hobby. But is because it's so realistic. One of the things that I'm just like allergic to, and I have been my whole life, pre-seminary, through seminary, as a priest, is a false piety that kind of like disregards my experiences and observations of life. I don't want someone to just like give me a Hallmark card. I don't want someone to like pat me on the back and say, there, like it's fine. It's not fine. Like help me to make sense of my life and connect me to something. And it was Peter Kreeft wrote a book called 3 Philosophies of Life.
This Peter Kreeft being cited on this podcast, I think 3 out of 4 weeks in a row or something.
Actually,
like that.
That might have been Joseph Pieper. No, Peter Kreeft. I get them. Yeah, Peter Kreeft. Yeah, it's got to be Peter Kreeft, right? He's Boston College.
His book on prayer. Was
the
one
he's
that
our
we
guy.
talked
He's
about
our guy.
Yeah. I know his stuff. It's wonderful. Yeah.
He wrote this book, 3 Philosophies of Life, where he compares the writings in Ecclesiastes, Job, and then Song of Songs. And Ecclesiastes, he has as life as vanity or life as nothing. And he says it's the question to which the rest of the Bible is the answer. And I think so often, especially, I'm dealing with youth, right? The kids who are in my senior theology class, 12th grade, often have been in Catholic schools for 12 years and have learned the Our Father and the Beatitudes and, like everything on repeat every X number of years when, the theology program kind of reboots. And so when I begin and I talk to them about like the 4 harmonies or the story of Genesis and the fall, which is so important to be able to understand like what even is a human being and like what do you have some sort of goal in life? Like, do you have any justification for being disappointed that you're learning this over again? If they just see that as a typical piety and like another thing of here's another reiteration of this thing that has thus far proven to be useless in my life, they turn me off and they fall asleep. What I need is I need them to be in contact with the question of their heart. I need them to say like, yeah, high school is really hard, or like my prospects for the future seem dire or difficult, and there are some times where I'm not super happy at Mass or in theology. Great, like dig into that, lean into it.
How do you break through that barrier? How do you get
aggressively?
I like it. I like it a lot.
I tend to be kind of ranty and passionate.
What?
Yeah. But in a way where like I don't want to be. I don't just like give that freely. Like I kind of got to be provoked into it.
But that's great. You for sure like will pound on an ambo every once in a while.
Every day.
Yes, yeah. Like,
but it's
I'd
also
be excited.
like it's not a rhetorical tool.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like
Yeah.
I can like I can hear the passion in what you're talking about. And like,
yeah. So I got kind of ranty there. So let me like answer the question originally and briefly.
Yeah.
I love Ecclesiastes because I think it's asking honest questions.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we kind of bypass those questions and make assumptions about the people who are listening to the scriptures that is not fair to readers and kind of disconnects them from their own experience. So,
and it's like, and it does, I mean, I know it's intentional, but it really echoes the gospel in like the same exact thing. Cause like, and there's also not like a fantastic answer there. It's just like, you fool.
Yeah.
Like,
you
what do you
fool.
like?
It's nice.
Yeah. It, no, I think that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and we've talked a lot on here about, we've talked about it in multiple perspectives of like, yeah, we shouldn't just always say everything's fine, right? Like I've been very intentional over the last few years of when I encounter somebody I know who is like going through something, like they've had an experience, they've lost a loved one, they, you know, and I say, hey, how are you doing? They're like, it's fine. I will usually quickly respond, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it sucks. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Like you owe nobody an it's fine. And like, cause it shouldn't be. And if it is, we should be much more concerned about you.
Right.
Absolutely.
And Scott has talked on here. We've talked a lot about like a society where like we're not given time to grieve. We're not given the space and like the tools to truly understand what that means and why we need to do that and like what the value is. And that can apply for like the tiniest little things and frustrations and encounters we have all the way. Like, I'm also not a big fan of like telling people that like the thing that they are encountering or that they're experiencing doesn't matter because there are bigger things happening in the world.
Right.
Yeah. And you work in a high school, so you very much that comes from my experience in high school, that from having daughters who like the like their thing that they're experiencing in that moment is like dramatically affecting them.
Definitely.
Whether I want to say, wake up, there's you got to figure this out. You got to engage it first.
Exactly right. Yeah. You engage it first. And then, you know, a la the earlier suggestion that this is the question to which the rest of the Bible is the.
We were changing books here for a second.
No, I've been doing my French Duolingo, so I apologize for kind of jumping. But that like if there is going to be any sort of reconciliation between you and the world, or any sort of like hope to be able to propel you forward, then you lean into it first, so that then you can have some sort of hope. I had a cousin, I have a cousin still, who lives in this archdiocese, and I did his wedding like I don't know, handful of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and they chose Ecclesiastes as their first reading for their wedding, which boggled my mind. I had seen it for funerals.
Homily there.
I choked on nothing. I went like full bore. Because
this is all worthless.
Because it was perfect. The idea of, you know, what does man gain from all his work under the sun? The point of Ecclesiastes is there's nothing under the sun in his time as he's writing that's worthwhile. And the only way to be able to have something valuable is if something comes from outside of the sun or beyond the sun, to be able to inspire meaning into it.
Or from the sun,
if you will.
S-O-N.
A little homophonic. That's the idea, right? That actually the incarnation in Christ is the only actual newness that can inspire any sort of meaning. And if you're, you know, going to have any hope at all of finding something worthwhile, it's got to be there.
But it also, like, people have to be able to like get there on their own.
Yeah, exactly. Can't rush
like
that.
That's the like telling somebody like the thing you're experiencing doesn't matter. Well, like, yeah, that's kind of what Ecclesiastes is saying, but like that doesn't mean that the experience you're having isn't affecting you in a way that like we still have to find our way to that thing out from the outside.
Like Ecclesiastes is gonna like sit down with you while you're like in the dumps and like be in it with you and be like, I know this is terrible, isn't it? So it gives you all the time you need to be able to experience that.
So where do we take it from there? I mean, it's great to point out that like, hey,
life is worthless
Yeah.
and meaningless.
allow me to take a 2x4 to your knees, but then what? There's got to be like step 2, right?
Yeah.
What do we take home with us?
That's great. So like, hence the nothing under the sun. We need something to come from beyond the sun to be able to inspire meaning, so that there is something that man can gain, so that his life can find its ultimate purpose, so that we can make like a judgment that things are good, not vanity.
Enter the liturgy of the Eucharist.
Well,
like
truly.
in transition.
Liturgy of the Eucharist. And I mean, like the other readings that you have here for this Sunday, you pointed out in the second reading, literally seek what is above. So we're orienting our heads beyond what's just down here in the muck with us. We need something to be able to come pull us out. This is what Christ does, and that's what St. Paul is exhorting his listeners to do. Christ seated at the right hand of God. Think of what is above, not what is on earth.
And let's not forget about the banger of a responsorial psalm we have.
My apologies. Yeah, that feels disrespectful on my part.
A little bit.
But it'd be easy
if I could hear you sing it. It might
be able to
be more memorable for me.
I want you to come back.
It would be easy for us to okay, hear this and say, all right, well, I'm just gonna. Life sucks. I'm gonna just harden my heart now. I'm not gonna listen to anything. But truly to be able to listen to God and hear and respond, and to know of his love is.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the difference, right? Between what do I want to say? Like someone who's authentically experiencing that vanity of vanities, and someone who is a cynic. Because a cynic is presupposing that there is no answer. Right. But what you can do, kind of like you were suggesting before about like entering into that grief or giving yourself time or patience to be able to experience something, to say, okay, I might not know the answer, but I'm confident there is one. I'm confident there's something that's going to bring me beyond this. So I'm going to dive deeper into this sorrow or pain or suffering or frustration, in the hopes that like the only way to get beyond it is through it.
It's striking to hear you say it, because like that description, my mother passed away 16 years ago, pretty suddenly. And I would say like what you just said there was like absolutely my experience over the like months after she passed, of like truly diving into that grief, but like never having it in me to say like, well, this is my reality. No, because I knew like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know where but I do know that there is something more.
Yes.
And something greater that she's experiencing. And like, so like the way you just described it really just like hit me like a wave there of like, that very much was my experience, and something I go back to in times that I like reflect on that and talk about it. And like, I've never been like okay with the fact that my mother passed away, but I do have some recognition of like how I can like think about and remember and process that, and know that like there is something so much greater.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think you can't skip grief, and you shouldn't do it alone. Like,
totally.
I think that's like the biggest thing that I've learned in this room is that.
And I think we're talking about like grief and loss, but on the other side, it's the message here is also like, even when things are great, like when you're building a bigger barn to fill it full of all your stuff and everything, like that also doesn't mean anything. Like that's also pretty worthless. And like when you're letting that take you over, it's just as dangerous as letting like the depths and the sorrows take you over.
Yeah, I think that's part of the wisdom of Ecclesiastes, is that he's pointing out certainly the sorrow and the suffering and all that, but he's also like trying to sober everyone against a false sort of joy. It says, oh, you've got a lot of stuff. Wow, you must be really happy. Like pat yourself on the back about that. Actually, no, because you're going to end up in the same sorrow I'm talking about in the beginning. So let's find another way. Like there's got to be an alternative here.
Yeah, and it's we've talked about it before here, but like having stuff isn't bad.
Right, yeah.
Letting that be the thing you're working towards. That's bad.
Yeah.
Like
anything that becomes an obstacle to Christ, right? It's very Mary and Martha from however many Sundays ago.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah.
2 Sundays ago, I think.
2 Sundays ago.
There
and a few days ago.
All right. Well,
you're pretty great.
Yeah.
You're welcome back. I'll go ahead
I just checked to make sure we're recording. We are.
Great news.
I'm
Gang.
glad we don't have to redo that again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get that sort of authentic despair again.
Ready for some dumb questions?
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Am I?
So, what I'm going to start. You are the chaplain at Garen Catholic High School.
I am. Yeah.
Wonderful school.
Gratefully.
Go
Huge fan. Eagles.
Golden
I was gonna
Eagles.
say
Yeah.
Golden Eagles.
Eagles. Golden Eagles.
Does were you a Division I quarterback? Because I thought that was a requirement for chaplains.
Okay. Yeah. A famous predecessor of mine. No, I was not. I was a music major.
Anyone watching on video didn't have to wait for you to answer. No
yeah,
offense, but-
actually, it's bulking season right now. Right, we're trying.
No, I do know like Father Hahn, who was up there, like
Great guy.
yeah, and notoriously was a college quarterback. And,
Yeah.
but
Purdue?
and also like was he your immediate predecessor? Or
He was not.
no?
One
Okay.
between us, Father
Gotcha.
Dominion. Yeah.
So, how long? You've been there 3 years. Where were you previously?
Previous to Garen Catholic, I was a priest in Muncie, Indiana. We have a Muncie Catholic pastorate, so 3 parishes along with campus ministry at Ball State and K through 8 school that was there also.
St. Mary's,
St. Mary's, St. Lawrence, St. Francis. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know
great
people
place.
who have who are from Muncie, moved down here, but have just incredibly strong feelings about St. Mary's and their experiences there. And
yeah. I was born in Muncie, so it's got my heart. It's a beautiful place. I was 1 year in Lafayette at our cathedral parish, St. Mary's, also, and then I was 2 years at Holy Spirit at Geist on the north side.
Gotcha. So you've been all over the deanery.
I had all over the whole diocese. Yeah,
the diocese. Yeah. And so like born and raised in Muncie, or
born in Muncie. My mom's family's all from the Muncie area. My dad's family's all from Gary region folks. Region rats. So we moved there when I was a toddler, and then by the time I was like 4 or 5, we moved to Fishers. When Fishers was a farm town.
Okay.
And
so you're going to St. Louis de Montfort. Is that your home? Like,
that's where I grew up. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's kind of cool to be able to fill in there. Yeah.
Do you ever get that experience when you go there? The like preacher can't preach in his hometown. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
very well.
Like you're up there and you're just passionately giving this homily.
But we remember beating you in euchre. Yeah. Yeah.
And all the old ladies are patting you on the head as you walk out. Great job.
I'm sure if I were there long term, I would definitely experience that. Every time that I go back, I'm met with such great hospitality, so much affection. And then also just, I kind of get, I don't know if you got that sense when I'm like in the Mass and in the scriptures, the liturgy is the most important thing in my life. And I get lost in it in an intense passion. So if they are patronizing me, I don't pay attention.
Good. That's probably the best, most healthy approach a priest could possibly take to their homilies and their preaching is just be passionate and care a lot about it. And
absolutely.
That usually translates pretty well.
Good. I'm banking on that.
Yeah. So born and raised up there, entered seminary. Did you attend Mount St. Mary's then?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Started at St. John Vianney College Seminary in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Very formative place for me. Was at the University of St. Thomas, kind of like opened my mind. And
St. Thomas Tommies?
The Tommies, yeah. First school to jump D3 to D1 also. I was not a part of that, as we have already articulated. But in terms of human formation and discipline and intellectual curiosity and just like a desire to know and be a part of everything that is good, that place was awesome for me. Big news today, because their patron of that Catholic Studies department there that kind of hit me was St. John Henry Newman, and Pope Leo just this morning cleared the way for him to become the next doctor of the church. So
really
kind of fist bump.
That's
I know,
exciting.
breaking news. Happy to be here on this podcast to break that for you.
Breaking news. That's awesome.
Yeah. Pumped
That's
about it.
Really,
Gonna find a way to celebrate today.
What does that mean? Like, is there a celebration of like, or is it just like a stroke of the pen? Now he's a doctor of the church.
He hasn't like made it happen yet. He'll be the 38th doctor of the church.
Okay.
Most recent was Irenaeus of Lyon. In 2022, Pope Francis named him a doctor of the church, but that somehow that individual contributed to the universal theological like deposit of the faith in a way that's lasting, permanent,
like in an
important.
Original and like unique. Yeah, like that's awesome.
But like, is there like a canon? Like, somebody becomes a saint. There's a canonization mass. Is there a protocol?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
it's a great question.
I think even with the canonization mass and stuff, the reality is like declared by the Pope.
Yeah, but
on paper, it's done.
There's a thing. And
I know they do. It's just pomp and
we need
circumstance.
canonists. Like someone help us out here, right?
There's an installation mass for the Pope too. Except the second he says yes, he's the Pope. So
sure,
I'll believe that.
Yeah. So at St. John Vianney,
Yeah.
The seminary there. I discerned in high school and college and did a long weekend up at John Vianney, which was like, it was a long weekend, but it was incredibly formative to me and my discernment and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was just a really fun experience. That it was like my senior year in high school. I think I went up there.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're back. There aren't a lot of we said it before, but there are not a lot of diocesan priests who are full-time chaplains at Catholic high schools in this country. It's like very rare.
Sure.
It's typically, we all know it's typically religious priests who may be full-time there.
Sure.
But obviously, like, what an amazing gift that the bishop has made that a priority. What were you, when you got this, did you go to Garen Catholic?
I did not. I was the first graduating class at Fishers High School.
Okay.
Public school. Yeah.
Got it. When they split from
Yeah.
Hamilton Southeastern. Okay. When you found out about this assignment, what were your thoughts? Like, cause like it's a unique thing. And I don't know if it's like a prized assignment or if it's I
think it ought to be. Yeah. I think every priest experiences this to some degree. One of the things they told us in seminary when I was at the Mount preparing to be ordained a priest, they said, you need to make sure that when you leave an assignment, your heart should break. And, you're most of you kind of go out there, you're going to be a young associate somewhere. So you'll have maybe 2, maybe 3 years in an assignment, and then they'll pull you, and your instinct is going to be to pull back from that second assignment because, if my heart hurts when I leave, I don't want to do that. I'm only going to be here a couple years. But they said, no, lean into it. Like the more it hurts, the more authentically you're giving yourself and your vocation. So it was really hard for me to leave Muncie and to leave those parishes and the people that I knew there. It was a lot of heartbreak. So that was the first experience that I had, once again, related to the idea of, leaning into those difficulties. But the exhortation that I had received was, so you give yourself more fully than when you get into the next place. And upon arriving at Garen Catholic High School, that's been my ideal, and my goal is to pour myself out entirely, to give myself to that place in my capacity as teacher and chaplain. And I work with the campus ministry and the administrators and setting just kind of the standard for our Catholic identity as well as our faith formation for our faculty. I want to leave no rock unturned. I want to leave no task undone, because Jesus Christ is the only thing that makes my life make sense. And if I get to do that in a high school, like, let's go.
And you said it very articulately there, but like as chaplain there, you're not, people think of the students, but like you're serving the students and their parents and their families and the alumni and the faculty and the staff and the community around. And like, because it had like that identity has to infuse there.
Absolutely. Right. Because like, I'm not like the sole purveyor of Catholicism to these students.
I can't be. Exactly. Something is dramatically broken.
Yeah. And then it's going to be more broken when I leave. Right. No. In fact, I get to see them for like maybe an hour of FaceTime a day. And outside of that, they're with their families, they're with their other teachers, it's their chemistry teacher that has this huge impact on them, or their history teacher who like really they're bought in. So the ways that we can grow together as a community in faith is actually like all boats rise with the tide, right? Make Jesus Christ more known and loved in the community. That's going to affect everybody.
So what is so you're excited to be there, obviously, and you're leaning in. I like the way you said that about leaving a parish. We've been having the conversation that the Archdiocese of Indianapolis just had a massive,
I saw that
34 assignment changes or whatever. But some of the priests we've talked to, like that's very much been their, like they were in many ways devastated to leave, knowing that they need to and understanding the reason. But like it helped give me some context to like those feelings that those friends of ours who have been hurting. But all that being aside, like what's the like this? It is a unique assignment. So like, what's the best feature or thing about like being a chaplain there versus what many of your brother priests are experiencing in parishes?
I think that's a great question. Versus the parish, I think it's the invitation to like it's the two-edged sword, right? Like on the one hand, there are a lot of things that I don't have the opportunity to do. I'm not getting emergency calls or like going to the hospital or participating in funerals. My marriage prep stack has gone way down. But then like that time is filled in a really incarnational way where I'm a part of the much more mundane aspects of the life of high schoolers and of staff, where I'm invited just into the like grading papers with other teachers, or when there's like drama about prom, I get invited into that, and that might seem really silly. But like Christ is here to redeem everything.
Think about what
right?
we just talked about.
Exactly.
Like, I think it is the reality of what they're experiencing in that moment. And like, you're right. You don't like, and if you like the ministry in a high school, then this would be, but like, you may not have the marriage prep but like getting to be a priest on a sideline in a collar at a football game, or going to a girls' basketball game and being present.
Absolutely.
Those things matter so much.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, I'm one of the assistant coaches for the speech team at Garen, right? So I like get a
that makes sense.
Fun stuff. But to be a part of that daily life, and then like I would say in like an even more elevated way, to be able to bring the liturgy into all of that. Like we have mass every single day at Garen Catholic. So yeah, it's awesome, right? When you're a full-time chaplain, what else are you going to do? But so then it's not just like, okay, you're making your weekly pilgrimage to the parish on Sunday, but like, okay, all that, like you just failed that test, or like you just had this like terrible conversation with your significant other, and now you're going to mass with your class, and to let that become like a really just like powerful present moment of Christ in the life of a soul. I love that.
How does that work? Is like every day you have daily mass for a section of students,
exactly
people
right,
that want to come, like a grade level, the whole school?
Middle of our school day. It's kind of like a homeroom class period. We call it Kairos, God's time. And about a fifth of the school each day comes down on an assigned day to come to mass. So we have about 200 kids, a little under 200 kids a day who come down for mass with their teachers and with their classmates Monday through Friday. So that's cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
I've just watched from afar, and I've interacted with Garen in so many ways working at Roncalli. But I've always been in awe of like, it was built with such intentionality for things like that. Right. Like from day one, it was like, we'll build a school and a chapel and like our schedule and everything around this as the center of it. And there's just something beautiful about it.
And I'm not here to like advertise for Garen Catholic, but I do got to tell you, like, it is the best place that it's fantastic. The staff is so bought in. There's such a great love for the kids and for the unity. We quote St. Theodore Garen all the time: love the children first, then teach them. And you see that throughout the day. Fridays we do adoration from 7:30 until 3:30. And we try to make that available for the sake of our kids and also our staff. And to see like an English class or an algebra class begin their class period by just stopping down in the chapel to spend 10 minutes with our Lord in the Eucharist and then go back. It's very inspiring. Yeah. It's awesome.
Do you and Deacon Rick ever get into preach-offs? Have we thought about this?
We have not.
Dueling homilies. Hear me out. It's like a piano bar. Think Howl at the Moon. Scott's a big fan. Dueling piano bar. But homilies. Just point, counterpoint. So
we're doing like kind of like a harmony thing.
Yeah. Or it's just like, who can bring the bigger point? Oof. Who can stun the other?
We have not done that yet. No, we have not done that.
It.
We're a little bit more collaborative.
We'll host it. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
So and that's another thing. So Deacon Rick is the president of Garen Catholic High School, but you're his boss.
No.
Canonically?
No. In writing, he's my boss.
Really?
Yeah. Check that with my assignment letter from Bishop Timothy Doherty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say historically and traditionally, I think canonically the chaplain is but so in a sacramental manner, you are. I mean, because the reality is he's technically not deacon. He is a deacon, but like out of his diocese, which I always think is funny.
As far as like governance of the institution goes. Yeah, I report to him, and that's one of the other great things. Like you're not asking, but I don't know if anyone's even interested in this. Sorry, YouTube, podcast, Spotify, but it's a great assignment also to be able to just like learn priesthood too. Now I've been a priest for 8 years, and I know how to do sacramental things and to be in a community and the extent of fatherhood as it stretches out. But like Now with a little bit more sacramental authority, as you're talking about, I'm the only priest here, but I don't have to worry about keeping the lights on because Deacon Rick is so good at that.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry about setting our academic schedule because Christine Williams has that on lock. So I get to watch and take notes on the administrative side of things.
Man, that I hadn't thought about. Like, you don't have a finance council to worry about.
No, I get invited into those things so that I can learn from them, but it's not at the end of the day.
Yeah. But you also have an institution where like you get to just go ask sometimes and be like, hey, can we get this? And and like,
absolutely.
That's awesome. That's great.
It is great.
You talked about it a little bit, but what's the thing you miss the most about parish ministry?
I honestly, and I'm thankful that I've not had to deal with this, especially in the context of a high school. I don't want to invite anything like that, but I miss accompanying souls to death. That was a really beautiful part of the priesthood that just helped put me in contact with the root of my vocation. And, as per Koheleth here, who's talking about how everything under the sun is vain. Yeah, you got it. Look at that. Flex a little bit. Yeah. But it helped me to contextualize the different things that were going on in my own life, to remember eternity, to look to Christ who is above, and then to say, yeah, actually, I understand the profound meaning of a life. So I miss that. Yeah.
And last night you said you were a music major.
Yeah.
So what
kind of music
were you planning on going to seminary when you chose to major in music?
No.
Where were you planning to wait tables?
Thank you for that. My goal was I was going to be a high school choir teacher by day, and I was going to be like a lounge singer by night, make a little extra income that way.
Nice.
Yeah, sure, right? Like actual dueling pianos.
Are you still doing that?
No.
Lounge singing?
I am not.
Do you sing your mass parts?
I do. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So, had the music background. I was vocal music education. I did some a cappella group stuff back in the day. I was in seminary, part of a bluegrass band. We did thanks for that.
A cappella and a bluegrass band.
What was the name of your a cappella group?
I am sure you would love to know that. We can talk about that offline.
I've got some people we can reach out to.
Great.
And you said bluegrass band. Sorry,
there's another priest that we know that were in a band in college.
Some local priests here that were
nice. Nice.
I forget what it's called. I always forget it,
but it's so good.
Yeah,
we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, great.
We're not going to put it in the show notes.
Update: we've never put anything in show notes.
I hear that said on podcasts.
We also always say like just drop it in the chat, but we don't have a chat either.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll say we'll edit it out, but we don't know how to edit.
Tough.
No.
It's a tough life.
Should you read in on our podcast? Wait, your bluegrass band in seminary. So with other priests? Yeah,
other seminarians. Okay. We were all studying for the priesthood together, and I went to Mount St. Mary's eventually. Big like Southern style building with a huge front porch, and so we would just pick around out there on the porch. It was a great kind of leisure for the weekends and the evenings. And
do you ever feel like the Hillbilly Thomas just stole your thing?
I mean, I felt like that before. It was the same year.
Like those guys are like published artists. They're kind of a big deal.
I mean, they're okay. Like, to be fair, they're a lot better than us, but like
also matching outfits. That helps. Yeah.
Kind of like a I'm trying to think like what was Oreos and like whatever that other like Hydrox, here we were like just about to come up and like along comes Oreos and well, okay, guess that's that. We had a good run.
That's really funny. And so you just gave up. You didn't decide to just like change genre.
No, we like did.
We're actually priests who were in a pop punk group.
Yeah, never mind. We're done. We won a battle of the bands against the college students at Mount St. Mary's, and we thought we were top notch. And then no, it was all downhill from there.
And then the Dominicans.
Yeah, then the Dominicans. Always the Dominicans.
All right. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much
for being a good sport.
Yeah, just absolutely. Thank you for bearing with Vanity of Vanities, and yeah.
No, you can make listening to this episode your first assignment for your class.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time you come on,
extra credit at least.
The next time you come on, I'll reach out to some contacts I have at Garen, and we'll have the students write dumb questions.
Oh, good.
And This would be great.
I do that every week, actually. I'm not trying to you're like ramping down, but we do a question box every Wednesday. Just
this is
take a
where
break,
it was born for us. Is like as a teacher, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like as a theology teacher, and it was always like I'll answer it or I'll find out one or the other.
Absolutely.
So
this has been great. I've just listened to you guys nerd out about high school ministry.
It's obviously we both are passionate about it, so it's great.
All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.